Hi, I'm Amy and I call myself the DIY Dabster. Welcome to my YouTube channel and thank you for choosing to watch my video. It's time for another fall DIY. Today I'm inviting you into my DIY den for Autumn Leaves and Pumpkins, please. I'll show you how you can take a simple decal, a Dollar Tree pizza pan, and some other supplies and create a piece of beautiful wall decor. Before we get into the details, I want to thank all my viewers. I hope that you will find this video valuable and will give it a thumbs up. I am relatively new to YouTube, so please pardon my rather primitive setup. It is a work in progress, but I was excited to bring you this tutorial, so I went ahead with this video. If you would like to join me on my YouTube journey, please hit the subscribe button below and select all from the menu under the bell. That way YouTube will notify you whenever I post a video. I am sorry that the lighting is not the best in this video. I am working to find a solution to use for my future videos. First, let's talk about the supplies you will need. I will have a complete list of the supplies I used in the description of this video, as well as information about where they can be purchased. First, we have the decal that I created using my Cricut. I used the font double whipped for the words autumn and pumpkins, and the typewriter font for the words leaves and please. I have a package of beaded garland. I used a package of beaded garland from Dollar Tree in my actual project. A package of wooden pumpkins and leaves from Hobby Lobby. A pizza pan from the Dollar Tree. You can see that I have brushes, moss paint from Waverly, that's a chalk paint, and then Java chalk paint from Home Decor. Then I have a variety of bottles of different colors, just paints I grabbed from my stash that the color fall leaves, and some orange paint, pumpkin color. I have split wood beads. Those I ordered from Amazon, and I'll put the information in the description box. And then I also have some Fix-All adhesive from the Dollar Tree. Now it's time to craft. I removed the label from the pizza pan, and then I took my coarse sanding block and sanded the sheen off of the pizza pan and kind of roughed it up so there would be a better surface for glue and paint to adhere to. The sanding block is from Dollar Tree. You can find them in the hardware section. Then I opened up the Fix-All and I'm spreading it on a small section of the rim of the pan. I'm sorry that it's a little out of picture. And now I'm just going to place the beads on there, one by one. And then I'll put the Fix-All on another small section, and I'll continue to add the beads. They hang off of the pan slightly. They're probably a little too big for the project. It may have been better to have had ones that were slightly smaller. Now I'm setting it aside to dry. The next step is to paint the pumpkins and the leaves. And I put a little bit of paint in my palette. Not as much more than I needed, but you can't always control how much comes out of the bottle. And because I wanted the dark lines that are on the wood pieces and the wood grain to still be visible, I really wet the paint down to kind of use it more like a stain than a paint. And you can see that you can still see the pumpkin lines. Once I finished the pumpkins, I moved on to painting the leaves. I used the yellow ochre color first. And the paint was really thick, so I had to stick my brush handle in the jar. And I did the same thing with the leaves. I watered the paint down a little bit. And so I painted 2 leaves with the yellow ochre, 2 leaves with the terracotta paint, 2 leaves were painted with the burnt sienna, and then 2 leaves were painted with the deep burgundy. And I did go over the yellow ochre ones and the deep burgundies a little bit with some of the brown, just sort of to make the colors a little more muted, and so they would look more like leaves, like fall leaves. Now they're all painted, and it took about an hour for the fix-all that I used to glue the beads on to harden. And then I painted the pizza pan off camera. The edge is painted with the Java chalk paint from Home Decor, and the center part is painted with the green moss color from Waverly. Now I'm cutting a piece of seagrass rope to use as a hanger. I don't use jute and burlap in a lot of my crafts. I do use it occasionally, but it makes me sneeze. I think I'm allergic to it. So as an alternative, I use this seagrass rope that can be purchased from Amazon. But of course, if you're not allergic to the jute rope, if it doesn't make you sneeze, then go right ahead and use the jute rope. If you don't like the way jute rope smells, then you might want to look into getting some seagrass rope. It takes a little while for the hot glue that I use to dry. And I should have mentioned earlier that I also painted the pizza pan with a coat of Mod Podge to make a smoother surface for the decals to stick to. Unfortunately, that gives it a bit of a glare. Now I'm laying down my decals, and the reason I have it like this is I didn't have enough transfer tape to cover the entire decal. So I'm trying to put the 2 pieces of transfer tape together so that I set the entire decal on, so I can put the entire decal on at one time. And it took me a little while to get this set up right. Then I finally get them together how I want them. I have to do some repositioning. Now that I have my decal in place, I'm gonna get out the beaded garland. There's the bigger one there. I also have the garland with the smaller beads on it from Dollar Tree now. The gold colored one was in with their Christmas things. They had gold and red and white in the Christmas section. And then I'm going to make a wreath. I'm going to make about 3 circles that are 9 inches across or so. And that uses up the entire piece. The piece from Dollar Tree is 9 feet long. So it's about 3 feet used for each circle. And it did take some time. And once I got it the way that I wanted it, I wrapped the ends around each other. Then I used my glue gun and hot glue to glue the wreath to the pizza pan. I believe I eventually glued it in about 4 different places. Since I had coated the paint with the Mod Podge, it was easy for me to adjust the wreath, and I actually pulled it up off the paint a couple times and moved it around and re-glued it, and I didn't hurt the surface. It didn't pull any of the paint off. And now I'm going to figure out where I'm going to place the pumpkins and the leaves. They have a little piece of sticky foam on the back of each of them, so that had to be removed. Once I figured out where I wanted all of the pieces to be, I used my glue gun to glue the wooden pieces onto the wreath. Here is another look at the completed wreath. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd appreciate it if you would like the video, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching. Until next time, just keep crafting.